Libraries are one of the few places in society where we can still be without being expected to pay, without being expected to like create a profit. And governments and corporations don't like that. Governments and corporations expect us to spend to create a profit, to create economic growth. And that is why they're shutting down these places and replacing them with like bland restaurant chains, cafe chains and so on, so that we can buy things and consume things and create a profit and create economic growth. And that is the same logic that drives the climate crisis. That is the same logic that cuts down trees and forests. That is the same logic that displaces communities across the world to make place for fossil fuel corporations to dig up the earth and burn our planet to the ground. So that is why climate activists from across the world need to stand with you and with your struggle in your communities when they come here to Glasgow. And that is why we need you to join our fight when COP26 comes here. And that is why we need to stand together, all of us. And I'm also going to say this. When COP26 comes here, Glasgow City Council is going to try to look as green as possible. The Scottish Government is going to try to look as green as possible and say, we're on the side of the climate activists, we want to save the planet, we watch Greta Thunberg videos and so on. But what we all together need to tell them is that if they don't stand with you, they can't stand with us. If they don't save your libraries, if they don't stop the cuts, they don't have a place with the climate movement, because what drives the climate crisis and what drives the closures of your communities is a dysfunctional economic system, and any government and any corporation that doesn't recognize that cannot stand in our marching blocks. And they have to listen to us and push for systemic change that we need and make place for communities and put people over profit. And that is what we're together here to fight for. So, yeah. One other thing I wanted to mention is the strikes. You probably heard about that because some of you are in unions. That is the same thing. If you don't know where to go during COP26, join the picket lines, join RMG, because these strikes, of course, they're going to inconvenience the climate movement. Of course, they're going to disrupt our activities, but that's fine. That's what strikes are for, and we're going to work around it. What is much more important is that we stand with these people to fight for their living conditions and to support unions in their struggles as climate activists, as community leaders, as community activists. And we're going to bring all climate activists from across the world to the streets of Glasgow on November the 6th to create the biggest protest march Scotland has ever seen. And we want you there. We want you there. Bring your banners, bring your library banners, bring all your community struggles there, because we need to hear your voice. Because the world's climate movement needs to hear what communities are going through, and don't let anyone tell you that this is not the time during COP26 to raise your struggles, because it's the best time to raise it. Because if you succeed, then it's one step closer for us to defeat the logic of a dysfunctional economic system that is also threatening the planet. And we need you to win, and we want to stand with you.